Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. And what we have here are some Power 9 collectibles. Some are real, some are fake, some are fake, some are real, some are real, some are fake, some are Summer Magic fake, some are fourth or fifth edition. Guys, they're either fake or they're not. All right? Find out what to look for, which one's fake, which one's real, from this client who sent me these cards, who got these from eBay. The guy said, hey, I don't know if they're real or fake, but I found them in my closet.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit VintageMagic.com.
What's up, guys? It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com, and we have today a video that is from a client who hired us for an appraisal. This is an express mail envelope. This is a preferred way to ship it out. Client is from the United States, and basically what we have is a situation where the client bought some unlimited Power 9 on eBay and wants us to basically examine if they are real. My first time opening this package, obviously, and if you guys want me to do an appraisal, you can always contact me on my website, oops, that's a little damn weird, vintagemagic.com. I hate these bubble wrap, by the way. This postal service thing, it's like almost like rats can build this, or mice. I don't know. I don't like this stuff. It's like fluffy crap. All right, so, oops. Okay, so that's that. Oh, there's crap everywhere, man. All right, so I'm gonna read this to you guys as, yeah, why not? Dear Vintage Expert, I like that. Dear Vintage Expert, the story behind these cards are either a thrilling one or a brief blimp of what could have been. Okay, like that. His name is Anthony. I purchased these on eBay when a seller claiming these belong to someone in his family that played Magic a long time ago in the 90s. The seller stated he wasn't sure if they were real or fake. Thus, he put them at $200. All right, fair enough. I saw this and thought it was worth the personal risk of $200 to the roll of the dice. Bottom line is, I'm waiting to know if these are real. Enclosed, a Black Lotus, a Mox Jet, Mox Sapphire, Mox Pearl, Mox Emerald, Mox Ruby. So all the Moxes. Thank you, Anthony. And yeah, so Anthony, thanks for your awesome letter. Okay, so first off, let me just say something here. If the guy says that he doesn't know it's real or fake or whatever, I would already assume they're fake. And Anthony, I'm just going to tell you, I've done this for a very long time. I mean, the first card, this Black Lotus, is 100% counterfeit. It almost looks like a fifth edition or a sixth edition, where the borders were bigger and brighter or something, more contrast on the artifacts, and you could tell it's either a Chinese counterfeit. I don't know which level of fake it was. So let me just break open this stuff. Let me get. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard, For those of you watching the channel, probably understands that, look, $200 is a lot of money to a lot of you guys. And since this is mostly a Magic the Gathering finance channel, this Anthony's attitude of rolling the dice is a little bit, how would you say, a little bit nonchalant. Is that how they call it? And nonchalant is probably the right word, meaning, just very, yeah, it's $200. Who cares? right? $200. Doesn't matter. $200, right? So the thing is, $200 is a lot of money to people. And it's still money, you know? It's still a lot of money. And, you know, I'm going to just tell you right out of the gate that these are decently, you know, they at first, they almost look good. Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. I improved the lighting there. So yeah, at first they look real to the naked eye for people that are uneducated about, you know, cars like that. And look, I'm not picking on Anthony. I know that he probably, you know, he probably has plenty of resources to gamble away from this, but a lot of people on this channel would just look at this, be like, man, you know, this is absolutely a dumb idea, you know, to just throw away money that you're not sure of. So again, you know, I always stress to people, always do your research first. I have a lot of counterfeit and fake reback videos. I know there's videos on other people's channels too. I've been doing this for years. And it's really important to understand that, yeah, you got to do some research. You got to be more vigilant and understand that a lot of people are trying to take advantage of people out there. So, all right, so let's take a look. I got them out of the card holder, the top loaders. So right out of the gate, I can visually tell that they were reprinted or they're counterfeit. They're not even rebacked or, well, there's no such thing as rebacked. But you can tell they're, you know, they're high quality, more high quality reback, you know, type of counterfeit than I've seen lately. So let's take a look at this. So I'm going to go to each card. This is pretty high definition. So right out of the gate, anybody that knows Magic the Gathering cards, you'll know that the back isn't this shiny. See that shiny gloss right there? You're not getting that from the older vintage cards. This is a nice, you know, a nice kind of poker deck quality in a way, shiny. And the feel is very, you know, it's semi-matte, but pretty glossy also. But you can just tell out of the print. See how shiny that is to a point of ridiculousness. The other thing you could do is, well, you could do the bend test, but, you know, let's see. The bend test, it does pretty well. I mean, this is a pretty good type of bend. So I wouldn't eliminate that it might be counterfeit. But the most important thing here is the print. Let me just get into it right here. Look at that. That right there is the game over. You guys see it? Those of you who understand cards, look at the pixelation level of the Christopher Rush. See that? Yeah, right there. So the whole thing is very, how would you consider it? It's kind of pixelated. I want to say fully blurry, but on closer examination, it's almost like it's just obvious it's a photocopy. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how do I know that? I don't own one. Okay, good point. That's why we're here. So we're going to pull out an example here in a minute. Let's do the Mox Emerald. The Mox Emerald is actually worse quality. This thing is shiny as hell. Holy moly. Yeah. Another thing you could tell by cards that are counterfeit are the edges. What that means is they've been glued together, and that happens a lot with these edges right here. You'll see is because when they're cut perfectly from a machine, they're actually squeezed and, you know, then they're cut. So there's perfect pressure. So there isn't this flared edging. It's almost like it's flaring out both ways, this way and that way. You gotta understand that. That's what happens, and that's the reason why this occurs all the time for people that are trying to counterfeit cards. And this is like the worst fake. I mean, this is like literally super shiny. This is worse than the other one. All right, let's take a look at this one. So yeah, I would grade that BGS BGS F minus for the fakeness quality. Obviously, this is a fake. Also, this is more like the Lotus quality. And again, look at this. Ugh, terrible. Yeah, Anthony, this was not a hard appraisal, but it's good for people to take a look at it because of, you know, the situation. This is like almost I'll show you the backs of the older cards, what they should look like, but there's more of a brownish tone rather than this kind of skin color tone that happens a lot when you are printing. Yeah, the backs are a giveaway also. Yeah, you know, a lot of people say, well, Dan, why don't you weigh these? No, you don't even have to weigh them. Now, the pearl here is just an example of it's overly saturated to the point of ridiculousness. This card in the limited edition is not that dark gray. Just by knowing the cards. This Dan Frazier, look at that. It's extremely pixelated to a point of ridiculousness. Now, you know, obviously the game over test also is this 10 times loop, which you can basically buy at a jewelry loop, or 20 times loop, and you can zoom in. But look, this camera is so powerful. You would supposed to see this dot rosette pattern, and I don't see any rosette pattern at all. It's extremely pixelated. Now, people are wondering, well, Dan, where are these coming from? You know, this eBay seller claimed that it was from a collection years ago. You know, first off, when you buy something on eBay or online, don't ever believe it. Don't ever believe anything anybody says. You know, I found it in my closet. I found it in Rudy's basement. I found it in my underwear. You know, don't ever believe that. That's just a bunch of shit, a bunch of crap. They're just trying to get money from you. You know, there's a saying in life, in business that I followed throughout my whole entire life. My first business partner, when I was 19 years old, he said, if it's too good to be true, it is. If it smells like a rat, it is a rat. And that's what I'm saying is when things are too good to be true, they sound ridiculous, they're too good to be true. Now, there are some deals I have had. I will put a caveat to this, where the story is incredible and there's evidence and they're real cards and all that. But they are real, and the prices, you know, there's definitely value to be made in deals. But the thing is, when it comes to be like, you know, someone says, hey, I found these, or I don't even know they're real, you know, don't charge back, you know, the purchase. I have no idea. I mean, that's like alarming, right? That's a guaranteed pretty much a fake. People these days can research if they're real. This guy was smart, who was selling them originally. If he was a legitimate seller and he had the cards, he would have just said, hey, look, I'm going to go, you know, I went to the LGS store and so whatever. And I basically asked the owner to compare to get a kind of an evaluation. That would be the first step. But the fact is, you know, Anthony, I'm just trying to be honest with you. For the viewers out there who watch this channel, for you to just go off and just assume that, oh yeah, this guy might be telling the truth as a shot in the dark, that's the type of thing that will almost always be fake. And if you're trying to get the cards, I think you mentioned you want to get the unlimited cards for your decks and stuff, you have to pay the price. And cards like this are just never going to be $200 again, right? I think a limited Lotus like this condition, 10 grand, like a near mint condition, easily. 10 grand, 11 grand, 12 grand. So do not expect ever in this lifetime to ever pay that price again. Those were like, I don't know when 6 Power 9 were ever $200. I just don't understand that. All right, guys, give me a second, and we're going to compare some real unlimited Power 9 to these cards. Hold on a second. All right, so we are back. I brought 2 cards. Here's an unlimited Mox Sapphire, and of course, you have your Black Lotus Unlimited. And okay, right out of the gate, I'm not even gonna spend a lot of time on this for the other cards. I'm not gonna bring every card example. I do have examples for everything, obviously, but I'm just gonna isolate the Sapphire and the Lotus. And I just want you to just visually look from extreme far away distance the difference. There it is. What do you think? Please put in the comments below if you see any difference. All right, next I'm going to zoom in here. Give me a second. All right, we're back. So here is the Sapphire. Huge difference, obviously. I'm going to try to do more of a zoom in effect here. I'm going to see if I can. Nope. So first off, here's the Sapphire. Here's the two Sapphires. I'm going to try to turn off the light. All right, hold on. All right, guys, and we're back. So what I did was I basically transferred my setting here so we can basically take a look at these cards under better lighting. All right, so let's take a look at the Lotus first. On the left is the appraisal item that I need to look at. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, the contrast is much darker for the counterfeit. On the right is the real one. And this card has a little bit of yellowing for this Unlimited Lotus. So that actually is a side effect of these cards sometimes. Another thing you can notice that if it's authentic is there's a kind of like a corner kind of lift. So from the bottom to the front, it causes like a little bit of a corner. And that corner lift, which is pretty normal, but you can't tell with this card, looks more prevalent on the Sapphire. Here is an example of the print with the Lotuses together of the counterfeit and also the real one. Lighting, right? That's all that matters. There we go. You see that? It's pretty obvious. Obviously, the contrast is extremely dark for the bottom one, the fake one. But it's the Lotus part here. I don't know if you can see it. There's kind of this rosette pattern that's developed. If you loop it, they're like circular circles in a way. And that would be a giveaway. Also, I believe the printing of the way they set the printers, the ink, the black ink and all that is over the rosettes, not the opposite way around. So you should have consistent ink throughout the entire printing. Let's see. Christopher Rush. And, you know, a lot of people ask, well, Dan, again, why would this guy lie? Or, I mean, he didn't lie, I guess. He said he didn't know. But why would he found this out of nowhere? How could that have been? Has the technology gone better? And, yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, with the cost and value of the cards over the years, it makes more sense to counterfeit. And, you know, he could have easily got it from a trade or something. Let's say years ago, counterfeits were going on for a very long time, but especially now, the made in China ones are extremely bad. Look at that. So the Christopher Rush on the bottom is extremely more clear, more crisp. And look at this, the fake one. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. And there are variants sometimes, but in this case, it's so obvious it's not even worth looking at. Real quick on the back. This is pretty glaring. I mean, you can just tell. The you're probably asking, well, is this even a fake back? I don't think this is even a fake back. Actually, now I think about it, it might be, well, it might be a fake back, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter because the newer backs tend to be a little more glossy. I would have to pull out some new cards and such, which I'm not going to do, but it could be a fake back. If I had a loop available right now, I could probably tell better, give you the final answer, but it feels like a fake back. But even then, the glossy newer backs look pretty much like this. They're a lot more crisp and sharp, whereas the older vintage ones are a lot more aged. Yeah, it was pretty prevalent for the backs back in the day where the it's just the richness of the logo right here. See all the spark, the kind of the deep blue. It's almost like a planet, you know, kind of a, you know, you have the planets, you have the continents and the water, really deep. And there's different giveaways on the mana symbols too. But this back just looks, let's take a look here. Let's see if I can just tell. Yeah, this just looks fake. It just has a pixelation to it. I can tell that it's blurry in general. So I would give this more of a fake back versus a reback of a real card. All right, so let's take a look at the Counterfeit Unlimited Sapphire. So this is the real one. This is the fake one. This one's a little bit difficult for some people. You notice that the gray is extremely saturated, and the emerald, the sapphire itself is a darker blue for the counterfeit, whereas the real one tends to be more of a purplish blue. It's still blue, but there's purple tones, and that's something to understand. That's kind of a unique thing, because I actually own the original painting for that, the sapphire. But the borders itself and also the Mox sapphire wording, it's pretty obvious. Just zoom in there. I mean, day and night, you can just tell the difference. Do you see the rosette pattern? See how the top one has a very consistent rosette pattern, whereas the bottom one has more of a blurriness. That's kind of a sign right there. Also, you'll notice at the very top edge, I was talking about the little flip. There's a little bit of a flip that comes naturally with the cards. And there's no really flip on the fake because it's not cut the way it was back in the day. So here's the original sapphire. Let's see if I can show that with the light. Right there. See that on the corner? So it's a slight lift from the back. Another thing that I've noticed about this sapphire is it's a really nice card. The one that's real. There's this line that comes across on unlimited cards that it has. Do you see that horizontal line by the C? See that all the way C all to the gathering, and it's slight. It even starts right here by the M, the bottom of the M, the tip. See that right there? So this is not a full press line, but unlimited cards are predominant. Like there's a lot. I don't know the percentage, but a lot of unlimited cards have this line on the back, especially, and it's kind of a giveaway. This is not I wouldn't call this a horrible surface. In fact, I'd probably still grade it a pretty nice surface. If it was pressed further, it would definitely get an 8 surface. Now that's usually how they do it, 8 or even 7.5. Depending on how bad the line is. And if it goes through the front, it definitely is a 7.5 surface. But this one actually would grade pretty well. So I might even get this graded just for shits and giggles. This sapphire is the fake one. You can just we'll do the back real quick. Again, nothing to really talk about other than the fact that it's obviously a fake. Same situation, same back situation. You notice also the black tone of the paper. Look at this. Look at that. The left is the fake. The right is the real. You notice that the type of paper used for the fake is almost like this glossy, inkjet type of paper versus the matte finish of the poker matte finish, but still matte enough where it's not ultra shiny like the old vintage cards. All right, guys. So I think I went through this pretty deep. Let me sum it all up here with all the other cards here in a second. Hold on a second. All right, guys, and we're back. So in conclusion, these are the two real cards, and then there's the two fake ones. We compared, obviously, the unlimited cards sent to us were indeed counterfeit from Anthony. Anthony, I do appreciate the opportunity to share with everybody out there some of the things to look for. Unfortunately, these are obviously fake. The 6 cards right here, these 2 are the real ones. And I hope you guys understand that the video is not to knock on Anthony. It is to basically educate everyone and hopefully get some insight of what they should look like. If you guys ever have any questions on cards, don't hesitate to contact me at vintagemagic.com. Always here to help. If you're looking for an appraisal, I do provide free appraisals if I am at a show. So if you're at a show, you just want to hit me up and be like, hey, Dan, I'm at the Grand Prix, the Magic Fest convention, whatever. Can you take a look at my cards? I'd be happy to look at them for free. And unfortunately, when I'm back home and, doing other work, it's hard for me to get away. So there is a fee for that. But at first glance, it's really hard sometimes for people to understand, hey, is this real? It looks real to me. How do I know this Black Lotus is fake? And the thing is, though, if you don't own a Black Lotus, unlimited one, because we are the largest dealer and basically I grade these, I see these every single day. And I've graded all the top cards and I've, been around this market for a long time. It's really hard to distinguish what is considered real or fake. And you have to kind of have some of the details that I mentioned from the video to kind of discern that. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching. Happy New Year. And Anthony, thanks again for your, letting me do this for everyone. And we'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Thank you everyone for joining me. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. I'm excited to share more about our appraisal services. All right, so the first step of the appraisal process is determining if your items are authentic. After determining that the items are authentic, we will then do a market evaluation of your items. So oftentimes clients ask me, hey Dan, I want to insure my collectibles. Well, after the authenticity and evaluation part of the appraisal process, I would then construct an official letter and we would send that off to the insurance company. Your insurance provider would then offer you insurance based on the evaluations and authenticity. We also offer pre-grading services. So collectors who are looking to save money on grading can go through us. We will actually grade and authenticate the cards before you send it off to grading, and that will save you potentially thousands of dollars on grading fees. Also, we offer estate collection services. So basically, if you have acquired a collection over the years, either from a family member or yourself, and you want to pass it down to your kids, we're able to determine valuations based on the levels of today.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.